Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Umeed Ka Safar, the place where we share stories that prove no matter where you begin in life, you can rise, you can shine, and you can create change. Today's story is perhaps one of the most extraordinary journeys you'll ever hear. It's the story of a child born behind prison bars, into a world of concrete walls, surveillance cameras, and steel gates, who would one day step beyond those walls not just to live free, but to dedicate his life to freeing others from the prisons of their own minds, their circumstances, and their pasts. Imagine this: being born not in a hospital, not in a home, but inside a women's correctional facility, where your first cry echoes in a place meant for punishment, not for new beginnings. That was the reality for a young boy named Andre Norman. His mother was serving time when he gave his first breath, and his life from the start was surrounded by pain, poverty, and hopelessness. After birth, Andre was placed in the care of relatives but grew up bouncing between unstable homes, violent neighborhoods, and broken schools. He was not handed love, education, or safety. Instead, he learned survival, distrust, and fear. As a young boy, he was already witnessing crime, drug abuse, and domestic violence. With no one to guide him, Andre turned to the streets for identity and protection. He joined gangs, got into fights, and quickly fell into a spiral of crime that eventually landed him in prison, just like the place where his life had started. By his early 20s, Andre was in maximum security prison, serving a sentence that seemed to confirm what society had predicted for him, that he was another lost cause. But what happened next is what makes his story unforgettable. One day, in that cold, harsh prison cell, Andre had a moment of clarity, a moment when he looked at his life, his past, and his future, and decided that he was not going to die in a cage. He realized that although he was physically imprisoned, his mind didn't have to be. That single moment became the turning point. He started reading books about law, leadership, psychology, business. He began to write down goals, to get his GED, to study the world, to speak in public one day, and most importantly, to help others break free from the chains that held them back. Slowly, with discipline and consistency, he transformed himself. He spent years studying and preparing for the life he wanted to live. He turned his prison cell into a university of sorts, using every moment to learn, reflect, and build a vision. He began helping other inmates, tutoring them, encouraging them, and organizing workshops. His growth didn't go unnoticed. When he was finally released, he walked out of those prison gates not as the same person who entered, but as someone with a mission. Andre Norman, the boy born in prison, who once was a gang leader and criminal, became a motivational speaker, a prison reform advocate, and a mentor to thousands. He now travels across the world, visiting schools, prisons, and communities to share his story and give people hope. His message is simple but powerful: your past does not define your future. Andre went on to create programs that help prisoners reintegrate into society, reduce recidivism, and build better lives. He consults with governments and correctional departments to change how systems treat incarcerated individuals, not as throwaways, but as people who can evolve and contribute. One of his proudest moments was being invited to speak at Harvard University. The same man who once couldn't read or write properly, who spent years in solitary confinement, was now inspiring future leaders with his journey. He often says that transformation is possible for anyone, but it starts with belief, followed by relentless action. Andre's life is a living testament that even the darkest beginnings can lead to brilliant destinies. He didn't just escape the cycle, he broke it, rewrote it, and now helps others do the same. His story teaches us that even when the world gives up on you, if you don't give up on yourself, miracles can happen. He uses his past not as a burden, but as a platform. He tells young people that pain can be fuel, that bad choices don't have to be final, and that leadership can come from the most unexpected places. Today, Andre Norman runs global initiatives to support at-risk youth, prison education programs, and community healing efforts. He believes every person deserves a second chance, and he's proof that with support, guidance, and vision, second chances can lead to first-class impact. His story also reminds us not to judge people by the chapter we walk in on. Everyone is fighting a battle we can't see, and some of the greatest leaders are born from the hardest struggles. From a prison birth to a global voice, Andre Norman's journey is one of the most powerful reminders that purpose can come from pain. Through Umid Ka Safar, we salute his courage, his transformation, and his continued mission to change lives. If you're watching this and feel like your circumstances are too broken, your mistakes too many, or your pain too deep, remember this story. Remember that your beginning doesn't decide your ending. The world may put labels on you, but only you decide what they mean. Whether you're born in a prison or raised in chaos, you can rise. You can heal, and you can lead. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Umid Ka Safar, where true stories remind us that hope is not just an idea, but a way of life. If Andre Norman could change the trajectory of his life from prison walls to powerful platforms, so can you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that prove one thing again and again. No matter how you start, what matters is where you choose to go next. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward on your own safar of Umid.